All right, Danny's internet fell off the face of the earth, so I'll start this off real quick. Those of you guys that haven't checked out the rest of season rankings video that I put up earlier today, feel free to check that out. Also, make sure to get a prayer circle going for your local Breece Hall manager, your local Mike Williams manager, your local DK Metcalf manager. We all need some help on this this injury-torn week 7 of fantasy football being now over. Jared said, I've never felt so bad for a rostered running back in all my years playing fantasy. Breece Hall was looking like a superstar, man. This sucks so bad on so many levels because not only is Breece going to presumably, obviously not be back this year, he's not going to probably be back until like midseason next year because it is a very similar ACL tear to what Saquon Barkley was dealing with, which, as we know, can take down even the best of athletes. Like the bar we have now for how an ACL tear can affect a running back is Saquon Barkley. Like Saquon Barkley was the bar, and he is the freakiest of all freak athletes. He's somehow one of the only athletes in the NFL that's better than Breece Hall at the running back position. Now, granted, it was kind of bad injury luck for Saquon because he suffered the injury, the ankle injury right after he was coming back from the ACL tear. But I think the absolute ceiling projection out of Breece Hall is that we hope he looks half as good as Saquon Barkley did after his first year.
What a fucking tough blow. Like genuinely,
yeah,
this is a guy that we just put up in our dynasty running back 1. And now we have to face reality that, man, I don't even know where to fucking rank him. Like he's a fringe top end running back.
Him and Javonte. Like the running back landscape's so gross that they're still RB. There's still gonna be top 6 running backs for me. But I'm moving. I saw somebody put out a poll today, and it's a valid poll. Who would you rather have, Kenneth Walker or Breece Hall in Dynasty? And the answer is Kenneth Walker. The reason that's the answer is because we have the end of this season with Kenneth Walker. We're going to have a full healthy season next season with Kenneth Walker. And then year 3 of their careers is when Breece Hall and Kenneth Walker will be back on pace. And if you're rostering running backs in general, I'm going to assume that you're trying to compete. So give me Kenneth Walker. If I'm trying to rebuild, if you're trying to rebuild, again, feel free to send out, late first round pick, and, a piece to go acquire Breece Hall. But he's going to probably have an up and down value swing for the rest of, the next 12 months or so, because Breece Hall, people are going to be excited about him coming back. And then he's probably going to, suffer injuries and stuff along the way. It's just not a good situation. Running backs and ACL tears. We've learned a couple years in a row now. Barkley, Dobbins, it just happens.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to Breece Hall, I'm not even setting out first round equity right now.
I absolutely would.
If I'm buying Breece Hall, I am selling a win now type of asset in a second or something like that.
But you're never going to get him for that. So.
Well, I'm assuming if somebody has Breece Hall or a running back in general, they're probably leaning more so towards the win now aspect. And if that's the case, I am getting the production off my team, and I'm trying to maybe attach, a second or third or a couple seconds or something like that. But right now, giving a late first round pick, as good as Breece looked, there's still the risk that he's J.K. Dobbins. There's still a lot of risk.
That's absolutely a risk, but I think Hall was a good enough prospect. I was willing to give up a late first for Javonte when it happened to him too. So I'm totally cool doing it for Breece, but I'm not giving up much more than that. Because the price for Breece Hall would have been, before this injury, 2+ first round picks. And now it's, 1 late 1. And that's all I'm probably willing to give up.
I don't know. Even a first,
I'm willing to do it. I think the value accumulation you'll get out of Breece Hall this time next year should be good enough to equate that.
The way I look at it is I would take Breece over the late first. However, there's many more different deals that I can craft that could get about a late first value that I would much rather do than just
right. I'm just saying, as a Breece Hall manager, they're not going to do that. Right. You also have to get the other person to accept the deal. Ideally,
I get that.
A third round pick, but nobody's going to give me that.
That's why I'm saying getting production off of your team.
Yeah, sure. But I don't know. I think you have to make it just enticing enough. This person thought they had a superstar, top of the first round in 1 quarterback leagues, back end of the first round at latest in super flex leagues type of asset. And now that just got, rug pulled, and they're going to at least want a first round pick for him if they're trying to sell him.
Do you think let's just say hypothetical, right? If someone's a Breece Hall manager, they just lost him, they're more so on the competing window. How far off is the value right now between Dameon Pierce and him? In the market,
have Breece Hall.
I obviously we would, but I'm saying in the market right now, how much of a difference do you think Dameon Pierce in a second gets it done? Because I think it would.
I still think Breece Hall will be a top 5 dynasty running back according to the market after this.
But like if somebody's in a competing window, they would value the production is basically what I'm saying. So
Well,
I'm thinking
I wouldn't do that.
No, I know you wouldn't. I'm saying like the market in general, though. If you're for the majority of people in their leagues, if somebody's looking at, oh well, Dameon Pierce is a top 15 running back, and I'm still getting a second round pick, they would be way more tempting to do that, getting that production. And I would much rather do something like that as opposed to giving out as I said, that first round equity.
I agree, but I don't think people will do that. I think you'll have to at least give up like ETN to get Breece. If you want to give up a valuable dynasty running back, it's
I would
take
ETN over
in that territory.
I would take ETN over Breece in a heartbeat right now.
I wouldn't. I would still take Breece.
Really? Knowing that Breece Hall might not be fully healthy until 2024?
If I'm in a rebuilding window, because I think that Breece can still salvage his value because he's going to be in year 3 by the time he's ready to go and healthy 2 years coming off of the injury. So it's not like the complete end of the world. It's better that this happens in his rookie season than his second year. But anyways. We had a super chat that we missed in the whole.
You got a super chat here from Bobcat. Appreciate that. He says, recently traded Mike Evans for Dameon Pierce and David Bell. Did I win? 12-team Superflex Dynasty. In a Dynasty, that's probably about appropriate with Mike Evans' value right now. Dameon Pierce.
I think Pierce is probably more valuable in the open market than Evans is right now, most likely.
And that's what I was going to add with the caveat being, of course, if Dameon Pierce, keeps up a couple weeks, like let's just say hypothetically he finishes this year as the RB 13 overall, or even higher, maybe let's just say for a baseline, the RB 13 overall, top 15 in points per game, you may be able to get first round equity out of that in this upcoming rookie draft or even 2024 rookie draft. Whereas with Mike Evans, if he keeps disappointing like he has to start this year and the rumblings about Tom Brady retiring, like there's just way too much downside risk to his profile and in terms of the point where what can get me a future first in equity. And I think Dameon Pierce is way more likely to do that.
Also, I can't believe the Buccaneers didn't do this. I mean, I know why they didn't do it because they spent a second round pick on a quarterback 2 years ago. But wouldn't it just made way more sense to, first of all, not draft Kyle Trask? But second of all,
imagine Davis Mills.
Not Davis Mills, Malik Willis or Sam Howell or Matt Corral this past year would have made way more sense.
But like honestly, like even if you took Davis Mills in the spot that you picked Kyle Trask, at least you have like somebody that can be, a Jimmy Garoppolo or maybe even like higher in terms of range.
We're in a bad spot at the quarterback position right now. We just got to hope that, I don't know. I think that what they're going to end up doing, which I don't think is going to end up being smart, is like going after like Ryan Tannehill or something like that after this year.
Oh God. That would be,
but I could see that being the case. Like he seems like the type of quarterback like Bowles would like. I don't know. It's a dark day in Tampa Bay anyway.
Where'd you leave off? Sorry, in the normal comments, by the way. My bad.
Trade Pittman for ARSB.
Yes.
Redraft full PPR. Yes, absolutely. Give me Amon-Ra. He's like a full. When I did my rest of season rankings video, he was like a full tier ahead of Pittman. Where I think Amon-Ra's a back end wide receiver 1, Pittman's more of like the high end wide receiver 2 type of archetype, especially now we got, hook 'em horns, but we got Sam Ehlinger starting at quarterback, and as bad as Matt Ryan has been, I don't want to count on Sam Ehlinger to be any better.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. And with Amon-Ra St. Brown, people might be thinking, well, he's dealing with concussion. Well, it actually got reported that he passed concussion protocol, so he didn't officially get labeled with one. So it looks like the Lions were just taking precaution. He took a big hit to the head. I actually saw it live. He took a big hit to the head by Anthony Barr. As soon as it happened, I thought it was a concussion, but then when I saw him on the sideline, it didn't really look like he was,
Were you at the game?
No. I was watching it on DAZN. I was watching it live.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we all saw it live. Yeah. I thought you meant you were at the game.
No. I mean, I remember when I was like watching it live. By the way, you would have known if I was in Dallas.
Yeah, that's fair.
I wish it was in Detroit. I would have gotten tickets like as fast as anything.
Yeah,
possible.
No, that's why I was like, I wonder if it was in Detroit or something. Anyways, yeah.
But yeah, no. When I saw the hit by Barr to his head, I'm like, I was a little bit worried. But when he came on the sideline, even like when it showed him like panned on his face, it didn't really look like somebody that like just suffered a concussion or like it looked like he was just dazed for a second. He was fine. Basically is what I'm saying. So if he's not missing a single game, which I don't expect him to. And even if he had a concussion, he'd probably miss one game max. Like this is a guy that has shown he's got 23, 24 plus PPR points per game in his range of outcomes.
Right. And not only that, this Lions offense is extremely different with both Swift and Amon-Ra on the field. Like we're talking about an offense that was leading the NFL in scoring, despite scoring 0 points 2 weeks ago. Like they literally, with those guys on the field, they were like a 40-point per game offense this year. It's a small sample size, granted, but you can tell like the vast difference between Jared Goff with weapons and Jared Goff without weapons.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And I know like the Jared Goff could have had a much better day. I really think what set the tone for the game was that start of the third quarter, first drive, you're up 6-3. He could have potentially made that throw or at least gotten a big gain to I think I want to say it was Khalif Raymond on the outside where Trayvon Diggs picked it off. But man, I rewatched that play all 22 and Trayvon Diggs hip switch on that play. Like he was fully facing inside. As soon as the ball was thrown, his hips twisted like nothing I've ever seen. Goes, makes a play on the ball, picks that off. Jared Goff, if you're looking at the positioning of Trayvon Diggs there's no thought in the world where you think that's an intercepted pass. If anything, it's incomplete or maybe, Raymond, whoever it was, comes back at the catch point, makes the play. But like people want to pick on Trayvon Diggs. That guy is fucking a special athlete.
Yeah, that was Danny's weekly Cowboys diatribe.
I had to.
After being 0-2, I'm on a 5-game winning streak. The highest I got scored on was 110 points only. Yeah, it's not a bad Not a bad start there. With Matty Ice being benched, what does Pittman's outlook look rest of season? Should I trade him? If so, what do you think I should get? I would be more inclined to buy Pittman if people have this reaction. I don't think Matt Ryan was playing well enough to say that Michael Pittman was anything more than like a mid wide receiver 2 anyway. So it's not really anything that's really affecting him to me.
It's fair. I think like some people still have him in that wide receiver 1-2 type of range.
I think that was probably too optimistic. If you actually like map out the wide receivers like I did in the rest of the season rankings video, like who are you gonna put? You gonna put him ahead of T. Higgins? You're gonna put him ahead of Amon-Ra and all the guys that are towards
Chris Godwin, even
wide receiver 1.
Like Chris Godwin, range. Even I would take Godwin.
Yeah, I would take Godwin as well. Like I would rather have both Buccaneers wide receivers, despite how they're playing right now. Because like even though they played terrible, Mike Evans catches that ball, we're having a different conversation. And he had 15 targets and almost 100 yards regardless in that game.
I still can't believe he dropped that. Also, it's
I think Leonard Fournette's going to get benched soon. Legitimately, dude. I'm not even kidding.
Is he playing that bad?
Yeah, dude. And Todd Bowles said in his press conference after the game, like, we got to figure out if our old guys can still hack it and if our young guys can or not or whatever. And I think what I took that to mean was that Rachaad White's going to get more touches.
Well, like who else would that be about on the offense? Because you guys don't have like a young wide receiver that would usurp Evans,
it would maybe apply to the defensive line. Because we have, but like Akeem Hicks is hurt, so it's not even like he's the only old guy on our defensive line now. Maybe like they're like I don't know, man. It's just weird. There's no real other position group that would apply to outside of
what?
Outside of running back. What's up?
James Robinson just got traded to the Jets.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty huge.
Wow.
What do you think? Like a fifth?
That's actually a really smart move by the Jets, to be honest.
Yeah. What do you think the comp was? Like a fifth rounder?
It's probably late round comp for sure.
That's what I thought. It's going back to
save my J-Rob shares in a couple
that's perfect for both. Also, hallelujah, Travis Etienne, buckle up because we got a league winner season right now. And it's funny because this guy,
I don't know how much exposure I got to Etienne, but I feel like
so much.
Should be more.
He's my highest on running back.
Dude, I also didn't know this. I had 15% Kenneth Walker.
I had a decent. I like split
15%. I was like, there's no way I have that much Kenneth Walker, right? I literally went and looked, and I had like higher Kenneth Walker than like Javonte Williams, who I was like standing the entire offseason.
I want to say I had like a relatively even amount of Penny and Walker. I kind of just hedged my bets. I am, interested to see what my actual percentages is.
Yeah, I only have 9% ETN, man. I wish
really?
I had more ETN than that.
25%.
You know why I only have 9% ETN?
Why?
Because I have 23% acres, probably.
Gotcha.
Which is not smart on my part.
Yeah.
I was also hoping Madison would get traded to the Jets because I have like 25% Madison. But honestly, it's not the worst thing in the world if Madison just stays on the Vikings. Because if I can advance a bunch of Madison and Cook goes down late in the season like he usually tends to do, then I can win the championship with Madison.
I think Akers, Hunt, and there's one other running back. Who was that? Madison.
Yeah.
I think those three, they're going to be somewhat divvied between the Bills, the Eagles, and the Rams.
I think the Rams will trade for one of them, but I don't think the other two teams will.
The Eagles were in on CMC apparently.
But I think the Rams are the most likely team to trade for and I think it would be Hunt or it would be it would be Madison, most likely.
100%. By the way,
Yeah.
Madison would be a
Obviously,
lot
because
of
they
fun.
have Akers on their team already, so that would be a problem.
Yeah.
But so here we go. Would you do Fournette for ETN in a
ETN.
heartbeat? In a
Yep.
heartbeat. Give me ETN. Dude, Leonard Fournette looks bad. Like actually bad. Like he's a good receiver and he's able to be productive for fantasy as a result of that, but like he actually can't run the ball right now. Like he has no vision. The line is terrible. Like he needed everything to be correct and right for him last year to be great, like as good as he was, right? The offensive line was probably a top 3 offensive line in the NFL last year. Tom Brady was playing like an MVP caliber quarterback. You had all this, attention on the outside to the 3 receivers that they had. Like they're a shell of their former offense. Leonard Fournette cannot create on his own, and he has to right now, and that's why he can't be successful doing that.
Yeah, and it's also funny reading the second half of the comment now, looking back that like Peterson talking about Robinson, yes, because he wanted to trade him.
Yeah, man. It makes some sense for sure. The Jet that's a good pickup for the Jets, man. That's a good early down guy to spell Carter, and it should keep Carter fresh and stuff too. So it's not a bad trade.
Well, it's good for both of their. Obviously, Carter, if you had the expectation that he was,
I still think he's like a low end RB2 though.
I agree,
RB3.
but I was more so saying like if you more so had the expectations, you'd be like an RB1 with Hall out, sure. Yeah. But I mean, like with Carter with Hall, his role compared to Carter with Robinson, I think his value did go up if we were just assuming Breece Hall was still going to be there. So that's a nice little piece. Like they could have went for Hunt, they could have went for
it's definitely better that they went for Robinson or it could have been Akers too rather than Madison or Hunt, who I think are just better running backs.
Yep, and then on the flip side with James Robinson, now you're just comprising your role that you're showing on the Jaguars, but for what could be maybe even a potential better team. The Jets look like a really good roster right now. The defense is playing phenomenal. The offense, it's had its hiccups, but
man, he does not look good right now.
But the run game has been dominant.
Yeah, the run game's been great, but like Zach Wilson,
right?
legit has to figure it out. Like he's making the schoolyard plays that we saw, and I hate using this comparison because I don't know if we're ever going to see a quarterback develop this. No, I hate using this comparison because I don't think we'll ever see a quarterback develop from year 1 and 2 to year 3 like Josh Allen did. But we are seeing like the schoolyard plays that Josh Allen did his first and second year look like what Zach Wilson's doing, where they're like not connecting, but like they look like they could be special plays. And Zach Wilson has that, but he's got to figure out like the mental side of like the easy plays, right? Like the layup throws, the like taking throwing it out of bounds when you need to kind of thing. Like he's just being a little too reckless right now.
Yeah.
Anyways,
no, I agree with that.
Walker and my wide receivers are super shallow. So what wide receiver targets could I go for with Kenneth Walker? Or should I just hold? Team is Lamar, Saquon, CMC, Pittman, London, Andrews, K-Walk, Mooney, Dubs at flex. I mean,
I would need London, like if I'm gonna move off of Walker right now.
You need who?
So wait, is this redraft or dynasty?
No, I think it's redraft that he's referring to.
Oh, gotcha. If that's the case, I would definitely need T. Higgins.
I need a wide receiver 1 for Kenneth Walker. If I'm giving up Kenneth Walker, I need like at minimum AJ Brown.
I was gonna say what about Higgins plus?
I would probably want Walker, to be honest.
Really? Okay.
I would say AJ Brown, Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams is like 1-for-1 the type of deal I would swing for Walker.
And of course, like based on the market right now, you might even be able to get a Lamb plus, but obviously,
that's why I didn't say Lamb, is because I figured you'd get way more than just Lamb. If I'm doing a 1-for-1 deal, like that's the guys I'm going after. And
it's still funny because it's like Dak threw the ball only 25 times.
It's still a little sketchy in terms of like I would if I'm giving up a guy. I think Kenneth Walker is going to like seriously be the biggest league winning running back in the next of the last couple of years. Like you think of a running back that you could got in the 10th round that could actually finish as the RB1 overall, because he's literally getting an every down workload right now.
He looks phenomenal.
He looks unreal, man. Like, and I wish I would have just trusted the rushing prospect. Like, and to be fair, we did warm up to him more once we heard yards created from Graham Barfield. We're like, okay, maybe we were like being a little stupid on Kenneth Walker.
Am I off base to say he's like very like LaShawn McCoy-esque in the sense that like you can bottle him in, but like every now and then he'll just splash off like a fucking huge run that changes games? Like, because that's the vibes I get when I watch Kenneth Walker. It's like he's so damn elusive. He's so good in the open field, and at any single goddamn point in the game, he can turn that game on its head.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure.
Yeah.
Should I trade for Michael Carter after Breece Hall got hurt? I mean, now that James Robinson is there, you might be able to get him for a bit less of a price tag. But beforehand, I probably would be more likely to sell Carter because I think he would have been like a low end RB2 rather than like maybe the RB1 upside that people would have seen for him.
By the way, imagine Kareem Hunt went back to the Chiefs.
Oh, I hope he goes to the Rams, man. That would be awesome.
I mean, over the Chiefs. If you can get an every down
I
role
don't
in the
think. I think
Chiefs?
Kansas City's happy with what they got right now. I don't think they'd be inclined to trade for a running back.
I agree, but like, let's just say hypothetically that deal happened today or happened tomorrow. Let's just say hypothetically.
Yeah,
Kareem Hunt would be a top 10 running back.
Yeah, he would be. Yeah, it'd be pretty crazy. I would actually love to see Akers go to the Chiefs. I'm not sure he would actually. I think just resurrect the shares maybe a little bit, but that'd be pretty fun. Need Ramondre to have less than 5 rip. Yeah, that ain't happening.
I'm sorry, brother, but I need Ramondre to score 12 plus. So I'm gonna have to deny your claim, unfortunately.
I need 35 in our Tone Setters League. Otherwise,
I need 35
taking my first L.
I need 35 in the patron redraft league from him. So hey, Bush. Cheers to a Ramondre Stevenson 35 pluser.
True.
What would that even be? 130 yards from scrimmage and 3 touchdowns? Or like if you count receptions as well, of course.
Something
like that.
Yeah, something like that. Oh, I have a nice little parlay going tonight. Where is it? So I got same game Ramondre first touchdown, David Montgomery anytime touchdown, Jacoby Myers 70 plus receiving yards, $20 bet pays out $1,000.
Jeez, that's fun.
Yeah. So I need Ramondre to punch one in at the beginning of the game. I think I can count on those 2 running backs to get into the end zone, though. They're pretty much their entire team's offenses. So,
by the way, Bush.
Also, make sure if Hunter Henry right now is on your guys' waiver wire, I have a legit he's been usage-wise been like a 95% snap share tight end, and I have a feeling he might really elevate himself.
Bush, don't you worry. I had him already on my list for the streamers.
Yeah.
That and by the way, 6th round official pick for James Robinson. So very close. I said 5th, 6th rounder.
Yeah.
Same type of shit. The Cowboys are 10.5 point favorites against the Bears. The Bills are 10.5 point favorites against the Packers. Validly so. Validly so, because the Packers have been that level of bad this year.
Yeah, no kidding. You can Burrow for AJ Brown. Yeah, assuming this is a 1 quarterback league, I'll take AJ Brown. We viewing Fournette as a buy low? No. I would try and sell him for whoever said ETN earlier on. That's exactly what I'd be trying to do.
100%.
Pittman and Stevenson for Lamb.
I'll take Lamb.
No, I think I'll take Pittman and Stevenson there.
I don't know. Like if you're bad for depth, sure. Like, but if you're in like first place and you can go and upgrade your team and especially your wide receiver 1 spot, I don't mind paying that price for CeeDee Lamb because I mean his outlook is legitimately fringe top 5, whereas Pittman, I'm firm on a wide receiver 2 stance. That's close though. That's like exact value type of deal. It just depends if you need depth.
Yeah. I need Fields to outscore Komet +8.
I believe.
PPR. Yeah, I think you should have that. Hopefully. Today has been interesting, hasn't it, boys? Yeah, no kidding. Godwin in the 105 to 108 or Lamb 1 quarterback league. Yeah, I'd probably take Lamb in a 1 quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, like with the 1 quarterback, your flexible positions become inherently more valuable, and having a stud at that spot like Lamb long term. Yeah, I would take CeeDee Lamb there. But of course, if it was a super flex, I mean, quarterback equity alone, I think you have to do the Godwin plus side by rule.
Yeah, no kidding. I dig the stash, Danny. I'm trying to trade Kenneth Walker. I don't know why you guys keep trying to trade Kenneth Walker. I don't think you should be. Deontay Johnson and Devontae Smith to get a stud wide receiver. You gonna give up that much to get a stud wide receiver? There's no receiver in fantasy I'd give up that package for.
Wait, what?
Kenneth Walker, Deontay Johnson, and Devontae Smith. I don't think I would give up that for any receiver. Like if you told me I'm getting Cup or Diggs, I don't even think I would do that.
Yeah, I feel you.
I think if we redrafted right now, Kenneth Walker would be back in the 1st round pick. Like I'm not
1 turn for sure.
He's like, yeah, dude. If you're gonna trade Kenneth Walker 1 for 1 for a receiver, fine. But like you need Chase Adams or
Diggs
or Cup or Jefferson. Like I like legit. We need to value Kenneth Walker that highly.
I agree.
I'd love to trade Gabriel Davis and Khalil Herbert for ETN, but if that doesn't work, buddy, offered me Godwin for Davis. Yes, that is definitely a smash if you can't do the ETN trade. But yeah, go after. If you could somehow get ETN, dude, for Gabriel Davis and Khalil Herbert, you are robbing that kid blind. But yeah, if that doesn't work out, Godwin for Gabriel Davis for sure. Hey, I got Cook, ETN, and Hunt. You think that's enough for the rest of the season, or try to make a move? I got Cup. Dude, how did you get Cup, Chase, and Jefferson? What the hell?
You're fine at running back. Don't even worry
Yeah,
about
dude,
it.
you'd be fine with ETN and Hunt with that wide receiver core. Jesus.
Yep.
But I
just
would be
walked.
looking to sell on Cook if you can. Like if you can use Cook to maneuver to like a younger back or something. Like maybe you like Jonathan Taylor's like pretty low in value right now. If you could take or Swift potentially like take
KW is
Cook.
another one too. Like KW
Yeah, I don't know if you'd
might be a
get
little
him for
steep
Cook
now.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could go after Swift using Cook
ETN.
somehow, like
Oh,
use
he has
he
ETN.
has ETN. So if you use Cook plus like a piece or whatever to get to Swift, then I think that would be a great move.
Yep, I agree.
Do you guys have any thoughts on Bam Knight and Regis? I loved Bam Knight as a prospect. I thought he was a good runner, but I mean, he's probably dead now that James
Not much role.
Robinson's
Yeah.
there now.
Yeah, I remember you were a big Bam.
I did
Bam
like
guy.
Bam Knight though. He's had probably some of the best feet in the draft. I thought he was really elusive. He just didn't have any like receiving production. He wasn't that great of an athlete, and he was a little undersized.
Brock, I agree in terms of like how he pays off in fantasy. He has a little bit of a different running style though. Nick Chubb obviously being a more power guy, track background, big physical specimen. In his
I think
own
Walker
right.
has a way better chance of learning a receiving workload.
Agreed.
Than Nick Chubb ever did.
And again, like that's why I said the Shady comparison, because like early in his career, Shady wasn't catching as many patches, wasn't getting as many targets. But as the seasons rolled along, I mean, I want to say that 1 year in Buffalo alone, I think he had like 85 targets. Shady McCoy,
he's
2017?
He had some big target seasons for sure. Lost Lance, then Javonte, then traded for Herbert, and he sucks now. Then lost Amon-Ra for a bit, then Elijah Moore quit, then lost Breece, then Njoku, then Jeff Wilson is essentially done for. Yeah, bit of a rough season for Spicy out here.
Yep. Yeah. By the way, with LaShawn McCoy, so first year in the NFL, he had 55 targets, right? Which, solid number. The following year, he went up to 91 targets. So, I mean, like, if we see that natural progression, I mean, this guy could be an absolute stud, especially in Dynasty.
Yeah, for sure. You think Wandale Robinson could be a wide receiver 2 by the end of the season? Wide receiver 2 is pretty rich, but I do think he can at least be like a wide receiver 3. He really upped his snap share, which is kind of what I said going into the week that would probably happen with the way he played. It's a pretty vacant wide receiver core. Daniel Jones isn't playing that bad. The offense looks better than it's been. I think Wandale could definitely be the type of like maybe not like this year's Amon-Ra, but like a rookie wide receiver that's really good down the stretch. Definitely.
The comparison is what last year Kadarius Toney represented, where like when he was on the field, he was earning
2020
targets.
Ayuk maybe.
Yeah, no, I agree, and it sucks. I just want to see him and Toney in the same wide receiver core at the same time, but I don't think Kadarius Toney's issue right now is physical. Like there's something going on behind the scenes. Maybe he's not learning the playbook. Maybe he doesn't get along with the coaches. I don't know, but it's tough to see what's happened to Toney. But with that being said, because of that, Wandale Robinson's outlook is through the fucking moon.
Well, yeah, I think that's why they drafted him in the first place.
Yeah.
I don't think the coaches liked Toney from the very beginning, to be honest.
Yeah, agreed.
Have Josh Allen as my QB1, Brian said. That was the Burrow trade, I believe, that he's referring to. Could Elijah Moore be used in the backfield? I mean, Ole Miss used him as a slot receiver mostly. So they used him a little bit on like jet sweeps and stuff. And I think that would definitely be an easy way to get him the ball more. And LaFleur, like tree, definitely would favor that type of, run play with Elijah Moore. That would be a very easy way for them to get him more involved. I don't know why they don't do that. Just on some simple jet sweeps or screen passes or whatever. He's really not asking for that much. Like it's
just want targets.
He just wants some targets, and Zach Wilson could use some layup throws. So wouldn't be a bad idea to drum up some screens.
And that baffles me. Like you mentioned the layup throw thing. That's the one thing about this offense that I haven't seen, right? With Elijah Moore, you got a dynamic player, especially with the ball in his hands, and you could use him in so many variety. Yeah, exactly. You got these stud, yak type of players that you can use interchangeably in a variety of ways. And instead, you're just wasting that talent of a 5'10" wide receiver. You're just forcing at the X and running down the field like every single goddamn play.
Yeah, they really need to figure out how to use their wide receiver core. I think the potential is still there for this receiver core to be really awesome, but they're using them differently. And the weird thing too is they did it when Flacco was there. Like when Flacco was the quarterback, it's like they're completely hamstringing themselves with Zach Wilson. But like at the same time, dude, they're probably coaching for their jobs, which is why they're doing it. But like you need to let your young quarterback make some mistakes and develop and learn what he can and can't get away with, which is Zach Wilson has said himself he needs to learn what he can and can't get away with. So playing him, like Jimmy Garoppolo and having him only throw 17 passes a game is not really going to benefit anybody. You're just going to squeak out these tough, close wins and get absolutely lambasted in the playoffs when you play a real team.
Yep. No, I agree. By the way, I just saw Jacob Sanderson tweet about it. Shout out Daniel Jones. He's been fucking balling out this year. Like, comparative
Weird.
to
Weird.
expectations. Like,
Never thought I would say that, but I actually have
yeah.
quite a bit of Daniel Jones on underdog
Hey,
though. So
Daniel Jones, quarterback, 9 in in scoring right now.
ew.
Yeah, he might be a top 12 cornerback.
Yeah, man. He's my 4th highest owned quarterback on underdog right now, Daniel Jones.
Yeah. Shout out you and Ron because you guys were enjoying drafting him.
Yeah,
We already read that.
he's a good spike week guy as like a QB2,
We
QB3
already
type
read
of
that.
option.
We
Would
already
you
got that
trade
comment.
Fournette
We
for
already got
ETN?
that.
We already got to that. Yes, I absolutely
Yeah.
would. What should I do if I'm 5-1, 6-1 if Jacoby Myers doesn't get 19.5? My team is Tom Brady, CMC, Swift, D-Hop, Amon-Ra, Kelsey, Damian Pierce. You don't have to do that.
Sit
You have
on it,
ETN
brother.
on your bench too. Like,
Yeah.
what is going
Yeah.
on here? You don't have to do anything, dude.
Maybe
If you want to go after a better quarterback, like that's like your only weakness, I guess. You take Tom
Yeah.
Brady and like David Montgomery if he has a good game, and go after.
E-
Lamar's had a couple down games. Like, see if you can go after somebody like that.
Yeah, or I mean, like you might be able to
Even
get a stud, too.
Prescott, like, is an
Yeah.
upgrade. Like,
Agreed. Yeah, he also ETN's just hiding at the end of there.
yeah, I know. That's what I said. I'm like, dude, the ETN should be listed pretty high up there as well. Nobody believed the Buccaneers to beat the Panthers. Damn, what an upset by PJ Walker. Yeah, no kidding. Was offered Ken Walker, Kittle, and CD for Diggs.
Package.
Dude, package. What?
Heartbeat.
Yeah, I'm easily taking that, dude. I don't
Like,
know if I don't know if that's Dynasty or something, but I mean, if it was Dynasty,
it's definitely redraft.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely even easier CD over Diggs in
Yeah.
Dynasty. But yeah, dude, that's a easy W. Like, I would
And
rather
yes,
like Diggs is awesome, but you give me either two of these players, like Ken Walker and
Yeah.
Kittle, Ken Walker and CD and Kittle. Like, I would take them both
Agreed.
over Diggs, let alone all three of those. Like, that guy's
Agreed.
selling his soul for Stephon Diggs.
Yep. Yeah, where we left off. I was offered
a late first in a 1 QB league for Breece. If you get offered that, I would probably hold. Like, in a 1 quarter. Like, I would just hold him until, if you're not competing, especially, like, I would just hold him.
And a 1 quarterback for sure. By the way, like in 1 quarter, the point I made earlier about late first buying Breece, that applies to Superflex. In a 1 quarterback league, all for that, because the power, if you will, in terms of value is shifted towards your flexible positions. Whereas in quarterback or in Superflex, you still have the quarterback equity mixed in.
Yeah. Plus the pick value is less if there's not quarterbacks in the first 100%. Round also. Yep. No Superflex. Should I drop Jeff Wilson Jr. for Khalil Herbert?
Yes.
I have Montgomery. Yes, you should. Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
Devontae and Jameson or ARSB. I'd
Dino?
take Amon-Ra. Yeah, I don't know if you're...
And Dino, I'll take the 2.
Yeah, and I don't think this is Dino. I would imagine this is a redraft trade, but I would take both of these packages, Olave or Jameson or Devontae and Jameson.
It makes me feel like
Amon-Ra, but Olave and Jameson's closer.
Yep, I agree with that.
The downside is a downtick in passing volume going from Ryan.
That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, J-Rob to the Jets. Here comes all the reactions here. Smart for the Jags. ETN, baby. I don't even roster him. I just hyped for him. Yeah, no kidding. I wish I had more shares of him, man. Like, I have none. I have 0. Did I tell you that? I have no shares in. I spent all last week trying to get Travis Etienne. Yeah,
dude.
In
I have 1
weeks,
share.
I sent away like so many trades, which at the time, if people weren't following the usage, would have seemed like me overpaying. And the guy that has ETN in my home league is just like, every time you send him a trade, he'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'll think about it and then get back to you."
He's
like
that
one
guy.
Of those guys. He's that guy.
God.
Never gets back to you on trades. Super annoying. Plus, I fleeced him for AJ Brown last year, and he's still mad about it. So, anyways,
who is it?
One of the twins.
Oh, got you.
Yeah. I'm 6-0 and need 15 points from Ramondre Stevenson for 7-0. Fingers crossed. Yeah, I think you can get there.
Fingers crossed. Let's go.
Hey, yes, sir.
Ramondre Stevenson is here to save our fantasy teams. For the record, I mentioned my scenario, but I need 11.1 PPR points from Ramondre Stevenson in my home league, and I will be 5-2. I'm actually 5-2 in all of my home leagues if that happens.
Yeah, not bad. I have 2 open roster spots, and on the waiver wire we have
Mostert is a must.
Yeah, Mostert has to be a pick here.
Mostert and Juju, I'd say. Yeah. Pretty easy.
Foreman is probably who he's referring to, not Freeman.
Yeah, Mostert
I would go
Juju's
Juju and
easy.
Mostert for sure. Also, when someone got blocked there, it hit some of the comments after domain expansion. I can't see them. I don't know about you. But
I see Mac next.
I do too, but it's like a 7-minute differential, and I think there was some comments in between that. I don't know why it always does this when someone.
Is your Mac comment? I love that KW.
No, I drafted in a 2-team draft. Is my next one. It's 757. So
I'll
rebuilding Dynasty. I have ETN. What package would you be looking to get for him now? If you're rebuilding and you're looking to sell ETN, I think you should be able to get a first-round pick plus for him.
Yeah.
No questions. Like
I agree.
if somebody should be willing to sell you like Jahan Dotson in a first for ETN, like
Even if
something
it's
like
a 2024 first, I would like that's
yeah,
fine.
like somebody should be willing to give you a relatively valuable piece, like at least an early second round caliber value piece, and a first round pick.
Yep, I agree with that.
Okay, yeah. If you want to get to those questions, I can't see them.
After
domain expansion at 7:50 p.m., I'm not able to see them.
Okay.
7:57.
I love that KW got the hernia right before my drafts. Yeah, that's clutch for you. That you got value on that. J-Rob straight to the Jets, ETN baby. Yeah, everybody loves it. Let's go. Jets really ain't feel This was always.
I just think they need depth. Like it's a 6th round pick for a guy that's been productive. I think that's a smart move.
No, I mean, like, that was always the risk with his profile, though, because he's a smaller running back. The team would always, like, of course, show more allegiance to bigger, girthier running backs to play that earlier down role, not trusting him in a 3-down role. I have J-Rob and Carter on my roster. That they both, gain value relative to where they were last week, so that's a W for you. It's all going to be it's still going to be a 60-30 split, I bet. Well, that actually equals 90%, so I don't think that's possible, but 65-35.
Ty Johnson maybe gets the other 10.
Fair. No, I just wanted to make a joke, Corey.
Yeah.
I'm playing Lasardo. Yeah, no, Ramondre over that, by the way. I would have won, by the way, if your boy 13 in the corner of your setup right there caught that touchdown. So pain. You guys, hope all is well. I'm thinking of a trade for Swift. Do you think Juju, Miles Sanders? If you can get Swift for Juju, Miles Sanders, I'm personally delivering those two to his door. Just saying. You got where we left off, right? No, I got where we left off. Check the bottom just in case. LOL. Did they address the trade? I may have missed it. Yeah, we've been talking about it nonstop, Spicy. Yep. 12-man PPR have Mahomes, Eckler, Walker, Pittman, D-Hop, Andrews, Deontay. And how do you have wait, I'm sorry. What? This is a ridiculously good team. You got offered D-Hop and ETN for Diggs. Should I do it? I would want D-Hop and ETN.
I would as well. Yeah, 100%. Give me D-Hop and ETN. I have both of those guys ranked top 10 at their position the rest of the season. ETN and Hunter Hopkins. That was before James Robinson got traded.
I was just going to say that with the James Robinson news, you can make the case that Travis Etienne is running back 6 rest of the season. Maybe even depending on how you feel about Swift's health, I think that's even an argument.
Yeah, in PPR leagues,
exactly.
You take them over like Chubb and Henry, the guys that don't get PPR type of usage for sure.
Yeah, and then I mean, in full PPR, it is still, I think, a discussion between him and Kenneth Walker, which you both get explosive runners. ETN is going to give you more.
I don't know, dude. Walker's getting pretty good receiving usage. He ran like 65% of the routes for the Seahawks last week.
It's definitely a conversation. They're both fucking amazing. No, I wouldn't. Najee or J-Rob now to start next week or rest of the season? That's a discussion rest of the season, as gross as it sounds.
No, it's Najee. It's not a discussion.
I'm taking Najee, but it is a discussion because we saw that why though? Well, what's the ceiling?
J-Rob's not going to be the lead back.
But if he handles all the between the tackles and goal line work,
no, he won't. He'll get mixed in. He won't be handling any one specific role.
This is way closer than you want to make it seem, brother. They're both RB.
I think you're forgetting that Najee at least has like a David Montgomery caliber workload. Like it's not great,
and the team sucks,
and it's bad offense, but it's still better than James Robinson.
I prefer Najee. Otherwise, I would have made the bet with you rest of the season because I think this is way closer than
you're wild for even thinking about this one.
I think you're wild for not thinking about.
I don't love Najee. Let's make that perfect.
I don't either.
I think J-Rob's like a middling RB3 at absolute ceiling, unless Michael Carter.
High end RB3.
No.
Yeah.
He wasn't a high end RB3 with Jacksonville. Why is he gonna be a high end RB3 in New York?
I mean, when he was getting the role with Jacksonville, he absolutely was.
Sure,
and I would completely argue that Travis Etienne absolutely clears Michael Carter as a talent.
He does, but we're also going to have like probably 2 to 3 games of James Robinson
and we're upgrading
learning the playbook and shit.
One game probably. Like it's not hard to learn a running back
there's
playbook.
A super chat here. Would you trade Sanders and Pittman for JT? Yes, I would, assuming you can handle losing 2 players for one.
Yep. 14-team Dynasty Superflex. Should I trade Josh Allen, Gus Edwards, and Kenyon Drake for Tua, CD, DJ Moore, and a third? No. Like No, you would need significant first round equity added to that if you're giving up Josh Allen in a 14-team super flex. Like Josh Allen, like is probably worth 5 firsts in that format. Real talk.
Yeah, he's worth a fucking absolute bundle of shit.
Yeah. 12 man. I have Rodgers, Pittman, Higgins, Eckler, Najee, Ertz. Do I trade Pittman or Pittman for Damian Pierce, DJ Moore, and Brandon Cooks? Yeah, I would. I think Damian Pierce and RB2, DJ Moore,
How is
wide
Pittman
receiver.
fetching that much?
Oh, so you, yeah, no, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
100%.
I think Pierce versus Pittman's a legitimate conversation rest of the season, straight up.
I need an elite running back. Who would be the best I could get for Kelsey? I have Kittle on the bench. So you have Kittle on the bench. He's,
I think you should be able to get
Swift
Swift for Kelsey.
I would aim a little bit higher, honestly.
So you'd aim for Taylor?
I would aim for Taylor. Yeah.
Yeah, Taylor. I think Taylor or Swift is probably the guy that I'm going after. I don't know if I'd even do it for Ken Walker or for like ETN or somebody like that.
Yep. Where do we drafting a 2-man draft. Can we talk about J-Rob though? Yeah, I mean, like I'm a little bit higher than Bush is on him. I think he's a high end RB3 rest of the season, which is not far off of where I have Najee. Like Najee is not in my top 20 running backs this season.
Wild, dude.
Najee,
I think we're talking like an AJ Dillon workload in the Jets offense.
Which I mean, AJ Dillon workload.
And that's like that's what I'm saying is the ceiling, not like what I'm projecting. That's the ceiling.
I think the Jets are gonna have some more scoring opportunities than what the Packers will this year. I would take J-Rob easily over AJ Dillon.
You're reaching, bro. You're reaching.
I don't think I am, dude. The Packers fucking.
I don't know, dude. He's been inefficient. He's on a worse offense now.
No.
I think so. The Jags have proven more to me this year than the Jets have.
You're going from slightly below average to clearly below average. So yeah, I would agree it's a downgrade, but I mean the Jags were no world beaters, especially recently.
I don't know. You're also talking about an offense that, is going to run fewer plays than the Jags. The Jags are much more up tempo, much more pass heavy. Like I don't know. I don't think James Robinson is going to do a ton. I think he's a great, contingency if Michael Carter ever gets hurt, but I don't think he's going to be much more than that.
Yeah, I mean, I would slightly disagree. Yeah, that's a fair point, Brock. ETN season, yes sir. Nobody, please. I don't know what you mean, brother. K-Walk could develop a similar receiving upside to JT. Yeah, I think that's.
I think he could develop like how Jacobs has kind of developed recently into more of a receiving back, where he's like Josh Jacobs had like 64 targets last year, which is like fine. Like that's pretty solid.
Agreed. J-Rob on the Jets or Najee? We already went through that. I only have one running back in Nick Chubb. My other running backs are Jamal Williams, Rashad White. I have Diggs, CD, Kirk, Wandale, and Juju. What trade should I make for a good RB2? Well, Juju just had a blow-up performance, took one to the house, so that is the absolute one that I'm looking to sell. If you can pack, Juju and what do you think? Like
maybe,
yeah, Juju and Wandale.
Juju
maybe
and Jamal Williams, if they want a running back and go after ETN with that, I think is probably who I would go after. I don't know if you're going to get him, but that'd be who I would go after at least at the beginning. And if you can't get him, maybe go after like Ramondre or like Damian Pierce or something.
How much should I give up for Breece Hall? So we kind of went through it, but late first is probably about the market value. I personally would try to use like other options that about equate to a late first value. So if you can get, some production off your team and add maybe, a couple flyer type of picks like second rounders, third rounders, I would more so be willing to do that. But I agree that the late first is the clear marker in super flex leagues and one quarterback leagues. Like if you can get it for a late first, you're smashing that. You're pounding the table on that because again, you want that valuable running back if he, of course, goes back on the market.
Yeah. Real quick, I just want to get to Paco's comment because it made me laugh. Our boys' defense looked badass yesterday. Bush, you must update us on the $400 jacket. She can't get the $400 jacket because Amon-Ra was in the parlay and he left with a concussion. So
pain.
Unfortunate for sure.
Unfortunate. We already went through that. Perfect. Yeah. Best gift. Yeah, absolutely. Thank God. ETN season. I needed it injected in my veins. That breakout pick is looking a lot better now that I mean, Elijah Moore was on the thumbnail, but I mean, Ramondre Stevenson and Travis Etienne surely make up for it, right?
Yeah. It's pretty solid.
I'd be getting the second options. Trade. Sorry. Lamar Andrews, and Michael Thomas for Herbert, Goddard, and Mike Evans. I want the Lamar side.
Yeah, I do.
Lamar pretty significantly.
I think Michael Thomas is undervalued right now. There's a pretty big difference between Andrews and Goddard, and a pretty big difference between Lamar and Herbert.
Agree with that. Okay. In a Dynasty league and need the boys' opinions, I'd send Drake London, Alec Pierce for AJ Brown in a mid 2023 second. Love the content, fellas. This is an exact fair market value deal. Alec Pierce, I would prefer the 2023 second. And Drake London and AJ Brown's a conversation. In terms of pure value, I would take the AJ Brown side, but I do think there's a case where Drake London could slightly usurp him on the market value standpoint by the end of the year if he keeps up that target share.
I'd rather have Drake London now than AJ Brown.
Yeah, I mean, it's
especially
close.
If this is like a rebuilding team. I guess you're the one who's making the trade, so I'm assuming you're trying to contend, and that's why you're going after AJ Brown.
The difference here, though, is I would pretty significantly prefer still the mid 2023 second to Pierce.
I don't know if I'd say significantly. He's shown a couple things. I would rather have it, but I wouldn't. I don't think it's significant. I think his value is probably like a late second, early third.
Fair. Yeah, about there. I just think there's like some solid, like even like a Josh Downs might be there in the mid second.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. 14 team Dynasty PPR Superflex give
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. Is that what that is?
Looks like it. So let's just say Hurts, Gus Edwards, and Kenyon Drake for Tua, CD, DJ Moore, or get Jamar instead of CD and DJ Moore.
I'd rather have Jamar than CD and DJ Moore.
Yeah, I would agree. And I would prefer Tua and Jamar to the other package.
Yeah, I would as well.
Yep.
Rebuilding with 5 first next year. Yeah, it's not bad. I have Kamara, Saquon Walker, J-Rob, Damian Harris, and Dobbins. Who should I target for a wide receiver? I have London, Godwin, Brandon Cooks.
Maybe J-Rob.
I personally would take Kamara and sell him.
Kamara or J-Rob, I think, are the ones people might be excited about. J-Rob, of course.
Yeah, they might be, but I think I'm just a little nervous about Kamara, so I think I would probably try and pivot him to like an equally valued wide receiver, like an Amon-Ra, T. Higgins, AJ Brown, CD Lamb, somebody like that.
What about Kamara and J-Rob to go up and get like a Diggs type?
I don't think that would get you there. I think you'd probably get. I think you'd probably be looking max at like Chase or Adams or Hill with that.
Fair. I was just playing hypothetical. Other wide receivers are Lazard and McLaurin. Other running backs are Robinson and Fournette. Which comment is that?
That was on the super chat. Could you trade? Would you trade Sanders and Pittman for JT?
Gotcha. Okay. Thoughts on Allen for Tua and Jamar? I would still want Josh Allen there.
Yeah, I would as well.
Pretty significantly. I mean, if
that's a dynasty trade, right?
Yeah, 14 teamer.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking that.
45, but the other guy has Ramondre, Montgomery, and Pat D full PPR. Well, I think Ramondre is probably going to get you in that 15 to 20 range. So between Montgomery and Pat D getting the extra 25 points, that'll be close. I would say that would be close. I think you win that, but that's going to come down to like a nail biter type of situation, I'd say.
Yeah.
Evening, gentlemen. Evening, Ron. Appreciate having you in there. Looking to get rid of Chubb.
Who do you think would be? Swift or Jonathan Taylor would be the two guys I go after for sure.
Agreed.
If you're going for a running back, if you're going for a wide receiver,
Lamb plus.
Yeah, or like Tyreek, Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase territory.
Yeah, agreed. How many picks would it take to get ETN now? I would say his value
probably a mid first and a second. I would say it's probably what his market value is.
I'd agree with that because I mean, if you're comparing it, mid first probably gets you like if Sean Tucker gets draft capital, maybe a Will Levis / Hendon Hooker. Gibbs, I think, would be off the board. I think he's probably going to go in that top 5 area. But like, let's just say 6 to 8 is the pick for Gibbs.
I'll have Tucker higher than Gibbs most likely.
Well, what if Gibbs gets second round draft capital and I
get a 20% target share running back that actually weighs 215 instead of 200 pounds? So I'm going to be taking Tucker.
If Gibbs gets up to 205 in his way in, like, what are you thinking?
I'm still probably taking Tucker, dude. I think Tucker's gonna. Tucker to me is Javonte Williams with 4.4 speed. Like that's what he reminds me of. He looks like Javonte Williams with 4.4 speed.
Yeah, it was just more so playing comparison. I'll have to watch both of them in depth before I come up with a full succinct.
Also, Javonte Williams with 4.4 speed and a much better receiving production profile.
His profile is pretty spot on. I have Jacobs, Dalvin Cook, and Chubb as current running backs. We just went over it. Just trade Foreman for it. Wow, that's a steal. You got a 2023 second for Foreman. These are the type, by the way, if you guys are watching,
I feel like when we mention trades like this, we'll be like, oh, sell Deontay Foreman for a second. I'm like, nobody in my leagues would ever do this. But yeah, if you guys are in leagues where you can pull off moves where you can sell replacement level guys like RB2s off the waivers, like Deontay Foreman, sell them for second round.
And these are the type of moves you want to be proactive with in your dynasty league. So if you see you have like a guy like Deontay Foreman or Gus Edwards or guys like that where they can provide contingent running back 2-3 value for a contender this year, I'm looking for that second round draft capital. Even if I have to like add a third to sweeten the pot, I want to accumulate those second round picks in this year's class, next year's class. I want to just make sure that I accumulate as many of those as possible, because it makes it easier for you. Say you're eyeing a player that you view as a tier break in your rookie draft, and you have the 109, somebody has the 105. Let's just say you love Jahmyr Gibbs next year, and you really want to go up and get him, and you know that 109, maybe you're looking at like Kayshon Boutte or like Blake Corum or somebody in that range, and you're like not really sold because they have some question marks in their profile, and you're willing to give a 20-24 second to make that move up, more than fine with that.
Yeah, Boutte ain't sniffing the first round anymore, dude.
You don't think so? Market?
Not a chance. No.
Wow.
If he goes in the first round, he's gonna be the most overrated prospect in the draft.
What I think he's very similar to Pickens. No,
No, he's
profile
not.
was?
He had a good freshman season like Pickens, but like Pickens got injured and missed his. I guess Boutte was dealing with injuries last year, but he's healthy.
Even this
now.
year he did. Beginning of the year he's been dealing with injuries.
I don't know.
Absolutely,
dude. He's been useless right now.
So Pickens, and you didn't like Pickens, so that makes sense.
Right, but Pickens had production in the limited games that he played,
barely
in his junior and his sophomore season.
Yeah, I mean the peak.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Like Boutte is probably still going to be somewhat valued because of like the Devi folks that liked him as a freshman. But like realistically, even his freshman season, he only had like one big game, or like a couple big games. He had like a couple like 3 touchdown games or whatever, and like that's where it's been with him. I don't know. I don't think he's going to end up being a first round kind of guy. I think he's going to be more so like the Justin Ross of this class rather than like George Pickens.
Fair.
But yeah, so we'll close out the Edwards questions here and then we'll head off. I've lost Javonte and Hall this year. Yikes. Sitting 7-0, and my running backs are Etienne, Mostert, and Foreman. Still in a pretty decent spot. Should I trade Russ Wilson, Foreman, Pitts for Kamara early to no?
No.
Pitts.
Don't give up. Don't give up. Wait, Pitts?
Yeah,
no,
not Dynasty.
No.
In redraft, and you wanted to do like Russ, Foreman, and Pitts for Kamara, maybe, but not in a Dynasty league. No, Pitts is worth more than Kamara.
Pitts is worth like Kamara and like 2 firsts.
Yeah. My QBs are Burrow, Jimmy G, and tight ends are Kelsey. Yeah. No, you're definitely not doing that personally. Even though you have Kelsey, I wouldn't be doing that. I just
by the way, Kyle Pitts has the second highest targets per route run this year.
I mean, it doesn't really matter what teams throw.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like it's as bad as it's like as good as he's been from a usage standpoint in terms of targets per route run when he's on the field demanding targets. The volume of that passing game has just made it utterly useless.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's fucked.
Anyways, we're gonna head off of here. Hopefully, you guys enjoy the game. Looks like the Bears just kind of hit a sneaky little chunk play here. The Patriots don't have the ball first, which is making me nervous about my Ramondre first touchdown bet. But I mean, that would require Justin Fields to convert in the red zone. So hopefully, knock on wood, they kick a field goal here or something. But anyways, there's actually some weather. It looks like in this game. It looks like there's some rain or something like that.
And Edward, I would not, because quarterback equity in Dynasty still matters, even if Russ doesn't look like himself.
I'm more okay doing that deal though.
I'm more okay, but I mean at the same time,
much more okay, not just more okay. Much more. There's a huge difference between Dolchich and Pitts. But, Russ, he's a quarterback and he has equity, but if you're trying to win, I don't mind the Kamara in the early to mid second. Like I think the second can help you recoup some quarterback value potentially also in this draft class coming up.
For sure. But either way, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. 53 minutes running on right now. Again, if you enjoyed the live stream, leave a like, helps us a lot in the YouTube algorithm. And of course,
also check out the rest of the season rankings that I posted earlier today. Stay tuned for waivers, stay tuned for streamers, trade targets, all the good stuff coming up.